Hey, what's up, everybody? Bar911970 here, and this is a third video for the day. Haven't done a lot of videos in a long time, but I had a aha moment that I want to share with you guys and see what you think about this. This has to do with Linsey Williams and his latest DVD message he was giving out to people. Now, those of you who've been watching my channel for a while know that I don't trust people like Linsey Williams and people who say they have information from the inside. For me, a minister or a priest or whatever who spends a lot of time and says he's friends with people that he's actually said himself are Satan worshipers doesn't make sense to me. But regardless of that, sometimes you listen to all different sides from people to get information. It doesn't mean you follow or believe everything they say, but sometimes you can get some information out of what they don't say or what they do say and take it in different texts. Now, I haven't watched any Linsey Williams videos in a while. I don't really trust him. But for some reason, I was drawn to his latest one that he just made recently. I saw it that somebody sent me a link from a JSNIP video. He recorded it. And he does give a lot of good information. But like I've warned people in the past, if you take 99 pounds of ice cream and add 1 pound of crap and mix it together, what do you have? Well, you have 100 pounds of crap, which basically means it doesn't matter how much good is in there, that little bad can mess up the whole entire thing. So I believe people like Alex Jones, Linsey Williams, Max Kaiser, they give a lot of good information, but it's that little bit of misinformation or trickery or whatever it could be that could spoil and ruin the whole thing. And this is what I think I've discovered. Because when I watched that hour-long DVD of his, I didn't pay for it or anything. I wouldn't waste my money. But a lot of stuff he was talking about was very truthful. A lot of it was stuff I already knew. A lot of it was stuff that made sense. A lot of it helped me understand some things that I knew even better. But this is the thing that concerns me. One of the things that he was talking about, and he kept saying to read between the lines, so to speak. In other words, it was almost like he wasn't allowed to give the truth or the complete truth and needed smart enough people to understand and read in between the lines. Now, I'm not suggesting I am, because I could be wrong, but hear me out. He kept talking about how you need to get gold by January 1st of 2014, and he gave his whole explanations why. And at the time I watched it, I thought that did make sense, but then I started thinking about it. The video, and it came from basically the video I made earlier today about the fact that we're going to get a new Fed chairman starting when? January 1st. And I was talking about how they might talk about tapering or actually may taper. Now, somebody actually just sent me a message that they're already talking about possible tapering in October. So it already shows that even if Bernanke is still doing it, the new person is definitely going to continue on with that and is going to be able to fool the people even more. I don't know how stupid people are, and they're going to keep buying the same thing. So I guess people are going to wonder if it's all going to shut down again in October. It just shows what idiots most people are. But hear me out on this. If they do continue to talk about tapering, or even just taper a little bit, just to say, look, see, I told you we're going to do it, even if it's only temporary, we know how the market's going to overreact, and it's going to affect gold and silver. Well, what if Linsey Williams is, and I'm not suggesting he's lying, maybe he was given misinformation to steal more wealth from people. Because let me tell you something, I'm going to change my idea about gold and silver as far as the short-term prices. Because I was saying it will never go down to $15 silver, $10 silver, and you'll never see $1,000 silver, $1,000 gold. Well, the more you learn, the more you can use it as a tool, and the more you have to sometimes adjust. That's why, for example, nobody builds castles anymore as a defense for a country, because at one time it might have been great, but now one bomb or one tank destroys it, so you have to change with the times. Nobody has an 8-track tape player anymore, even though at the time it may have been a great invention. So it's the same thing of what I'm seeing right now. Now, Linsey Williams is trying to use fear and emotion, which I've always said people should be careful about, to say that there might be the start of a collapse. Now, he didn't say the collapse was going to happen January 1st. He said it could be as long as January 15th. Obviously, January 1st of 2015. But he said if you don't have your gold by January 1st, well, you could be in a lot of trouble. What if he was either lying or misinformed to get people to use their fear and emotions, buy up all this gold now, Then all of a sudden, the new Fed chairman comes in on January 1st and starts talking about tapering, or even actually decides to taper, and it comes crashing down. Well, then some people would have made a hell of a lot of money who sold the gold and silver to those people. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen, and I'm not saying this is a guarantee. I'm saying this is a hypothetical because I like to research things and listen in between the lines and not base things on fear and emotion. And when you use just fear and emotion, it's telling you, oh my God, by January 1st, 2014, I got to get a lot of gold. That's where they get a lot of people. Or they don't have to get a lot of people. If they get 10,000 people to all of a sudden buy a whole bunch of gold, and they scam those 10,000 people, well, they're going to make a hell of a lot of money. So my earlier video today, I talked about the fact of how I think that it doesn't matter who's the new Fed chairman, they're going to continue to talk about tapering. And it's already been proven because they're already talking about possible tapering in October. So that almost pretty much guarantees that even the new person is going to end up talking about it and could say, well, even though Bernanke said it and didn't do it, we're going to do it. Trust us, believe us. Because this time, even though we've said it 500 times before, I'm a new person, so you trust me, I'm different. And if they might even end up tapering a little bit just to say, see, I told you we're going to do it, the market will overreact. You'll see a higher stock market, higher Dow Jones, and you'll see gold and silver plummet temporarily. I'm not suggesting that this is going to last, that all of a sudden you should get out of gold and silver. I'm still a firm believer in long-term what this is going to be, because that is nothing more than taking a heroin dealer and having the heroin dealer decide, I'm giving up, I'm going cold turkey, so I'm going to stop doing heroin. And he might legitimately try, and he might last a day, might last 2 days, might even last a week. But he goes always back, because the pain of the withdrawal is too much for most people to handle on their own. And it's going to be the same thing with the economy. Because if the new Fed chairman does this, and again, I'm not suggesting they are, but if they do this and taper even a little bit, it's going to make the market react, but it's also going to destroy the economy, or it's going to start to destroy the economy, and they're going to have to turn around and not only take that tapering away, but end up ultimately adding more. And we know what happens to gold and silver when that happens in the long run. Don't worry about when it happens instantly. I'm worried about the long haul. So if you think of it from that aspect, and if you listen to Linsey Williams, and a lot of people do, and listen to him at face value, and he gives a lot of good information, but like I said, you add that 1 pound of crap into 99 pounds of ice cream, it's now ruined the whole thing. So it didn't matter that the majority of that concoction was nice, regular, edible ice cream. Somebody mixes in a pound of crap into 99 pounds of ice cream. Are you going to eat it? So even though Linsey Williams' information, there's a lot of good information in there. I was actually surprised about that. Stuff that I knew, stuff that helped me understand stuff better. But that one part really got to me, and especially today, when the more I thought about it, the more I realized he's working with elite people that are very good at knowing how to work people's emotions. And if they can get an old man who they trust to get out information and warn them to start buying gold now before January 1st, well, if they turn around January 2nd and then just flood the market with SLV and GLD, and all of a sudden you went from $1,400 gold or $1,300 gold to $900 gold, there's going to be a lot of people that will be shaken out. So that's why I'm waiting until after January before I make another purchase. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'll tell you this much. I'm not taking a person like that at face value, because one thing about me that I know about, me being a licensed massage therapist since 1996, I am an expert on body language. And when you saw that video, he seemed very stiff. And when he brought his wife on at the end, she had this look like she was afraid. And she didn't want to be there. She was not comfortable. That tells me to watch out for what's going on. You know, that's almost like, somebody capturing an American, and they're filming, a terrorist is filming the American, and they're saying all these bad things about America, but meanwhile, off camera, there's a person with a gun pointed at him. I'm not saying that's what happened, but she looked almost nervous and scared and didn't want to be there and looked very uncomfortable. So which may mean she's not thoroughly believing in what he's saying. She just has to go along with the ride, because she probably gets a lot of benefits, like getting those stem cells that they were talking about. So I'm not going to post any link. If you want to look up Linsey Williams information, you can search it out yourself. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'll tell you something. It wouldn't shock me if what I said happens. So that means if that scenario happens, expect to see lower lows of silver and gold that we haven't seen in years. And that, to me, is a perfect buying opportunity, because that, to me, suggests their last shakeout, or one of their last shakeouts, before they can't do it anymore. You could believe in it. You could not believe in it. You can agree with it. You can not agree with it. That's perfectly fine. I'm not here to tell you I know all the answers. I'm just here to give a different scenario. What you do with it is up to you. Thanks for watching. Leave your message after the beep. Peace.